Dirty. Welcome to Joe Braymeyer Presents.
Oh, yeah.
You like that?
I do. I love it.
Yeah, little concoction of mine there.
Makes
A
you get
little,
loose.
a little intro cocktail. Here comes the good part. Comes the
Better to be
tagline.
dead and cool than live and uncool.
We got to put that on a T-shirt.
For sure.
Better to be dead and cool than live and uncool.
Maybe a glass.
It could go on anything, quite frankly.
Be a good deal.
I feel like it could go on the back window of a Monte Carlo somewhere at the mall, like in giant lettering, you know?
Right.
It could be airbrushed on a hood. Anyway, welcome to the new podcast room, Aaron Steffens, Moose Ridge Properties.
Thanks, Joe. It looks beautiful in here. You do good work.
Well, I didn't do anything other than just spout out some ideas and a couple screenshots online, and I sent it to Joe Raggets, and I said, hey, you're a master carpenter. Can you do this? And he said yes. I hornswoggled him into doing the whole thing. He got into this room. You'll appreciate this. So this was kind of a room already, but it didn't look like this. And when it was originally built, like the ceiling was like drooped this way, and that. So, like, if you looked at it, it looked like one of the funny houses, like you'd go to the old carnivals, like you'd walk down the. And so he had to basically just he had to re-level the whole thing before he could even, like, make it look good.
Yeah, looks good.
So, anyway, yeah, podcast studio, here we are. Happy Friday, FAC.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Thank God it's Friday, buddy.
That's right. That's right.
Beautiful weather out there.
You're getting involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, quite
Busy dad, busy business owner, busy volunteer.
For sure. You know, having 4 kids sounded like a great idea at the time. And now that they're getting busy, we work all day, and then we come home, and then it's time to take a kid somewhere. And then the next kid, and the next kid, and the next kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, 9 o'clock, we're coming home and eating supper.
On top of that, how are you working through all your social media stuff? Because, man, as well as the butcher and the baker, you also have to be the candlestick maker, and you've got to figure out a way to let the world know about Moose Ridge Properties. So how do you swing a hammer and take selfie videos at the same time?
Yeah, so Moose Ridge Properties is the rental business side of things. So Moose Ridge Construction is...
Okay.
Yep. So that's what we're doing, Moose Ridge Construction. So it's a large task that I tried to let other people do in my business. And what happens is when you're busy, you hire people to do things for you. And so now I've taken that over. So you're right. I have that on my plate now.
Yeah.
So I have to schedule out like anything else and make it a point to do a post every day.
And it can be a grind.
Very challenging, yes.
And it can, and you've had people on your team, I've had people on my team where you're like, build my social media thing.
Yep.
And until you actually do it yourself, you cannot imagine how much work goes into it. And sadly, I've burnt through some people bad that I just was expecting way too much out of that one person to do a lot of things I didn't understand all the work that went into it. And you would walk by like an office and you'd see somebody sitting there in front of a screen and well, what are you doing? Right. Well, there's so much little details in making a correct post, and and it's just things you got to learn and research and do, and oh boy, and you got to condition yourself to have a lot of patience in this game where you're just trying to build a following.
Yes, and on top of all that, they're trying to please you.
Yeah.
Or me, or whoever, right?
Yeah.
Trying to please their boss, the owner of the company. And that's very difficult to do, no matter which company you're in.
Because, right? And I'll tell you why. Because social media posts, in a way, you're creating art.
Yes.
In one way or another, you're creating art. And art is objective.
Right.
A picture of a banana peel in a painting form may do something for somebody, but it doesn't for me.
Right.
And so that's the biggest problem when you outsource your social media creativity and actual editing to someone other than yourself.
Yep.
you're setting yourself up for disappointment from the word go, no matter how good the product is.
Yes.
And then you want to change it and you want to tweak it. And all of a sudden you've kind of like made it your own, and it's probably a little bit shittier than the one that was originally presented to you.
Right. As the business owner, you are the visionary, and you're trying to get somebody else to tell everybody else about your vision. Mm-hmm. It's impossible.
You're right.
They just don't have it, right? And they never will. And so our expectations are, we have it all in our head, and this seems easy to do. But when you try to tell somebody else about that, they're seeing it totally different, right? And they're working their butts off. They're trying hard. And then they're also dealing with, so trying to understand our vision in our head, trying to work with the computer and all the programs. And it just doesn't look very good from the outside.
No.
So that's where I'm at. No fault of anybody else's. It's my fault for trying to push that job on somebody else when it should have been my job to begin with.
Yeah.
And so it works much better, but it's a big task.
I feel like we're in confession right now. And if I may, can I confess some sins here?
For sure.
I have sinned against social media. I have sinned against the person in charge of the social media account, and I've burnt through, like, Katie, how many social media people have I burnt through? 3, 4?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were stars in their own right, and they had exactly what I was looking for. Someone who cared, someone who was eager, someone who looked at our product and went, I can do this job.
Sure.
And then you know who screwed it all up? Me.
Yep.
Me, because it was like, well, thanks for doing all that work, but we got to change that here and we got to change that there. And I don't know if you really care about painting the vision of your own company and your own whatever you're trying to build, you've got to be the one that's doing it. You just do.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to do is be able to let go of certain things at Treadmill Heroes so I can then take on more creative stuff with the podcast and telling everybody else's story.
Yep.
And if we can find that magic recipe, well then Treadmill Heroes is like, this whole thing is powered by Treadmill Heroes. Thank God for Treadmill Heroes, right? Because that company helps fund the marketing for the company, which is through Joe Braymeyer Presents, because I can't go the rest of my life and be a pitch man for my own company. I just can't be like hey everybody, it's Joe from Treadmill Heroes here, and just constantly pitching stuff. Nobody cares, and nobody wants to follow it. Nobody wants to hear it. It's like I was turning into just anyone else online that was just trying to sell something to somebody.
Yep.
And make sure you follow my business for updates. Nobody cares.
So you don't establish a very long-lasting relationship that way.
No.
It's all, get the sale and move on.
You're just pitching. Here's the thing. Yep. Here's a profound thought. If I was just doing a constant pitch of Treadmill Heroes, all I'm doing is pitching. By doing a podcast as just me, as a real person, genuinely interested in the guest, all I'm doing is catching, baby. I'm just catching.
Right.
That's all I got to do is just catch. And people want to play a game of catch.
Sure. And
I love this podcast because it's a gift that I can give to somebody that means the world to them, and at the same time it's pouring energy into me.
Sure.
It's the best double win I could ever find, like, because I'm a man of few skills, right? Many flaws, few skills. And I guess just shooting the breeze with somebody and genuinely interested, and I'll only ask questions I'm interested in.
Sure.
To be able to do that, because let me ask you something, Aaron Steffens. When was the last time somebody sat down with you and said, you know what? Tell me about you. Like, I genuinely care. That's why I invited you in here.
Right.
Tell me about you. And what are your views on this? And what are your thoughts on that? And what's your feedback on this? And we don't get that.
No.
You pour into people all day long.
I
like
do.
you are serving your customers, your family, and everyone else you volunteer for.
Yep.
And it's a rinse and repeat. That's what we do. And so, gosh, is there a magic formula where I can do both? And for me, it's this.
Yep.
And I'm creating some experiences and some memories. It's kind of like working out with somebody.
Right.
Like, I've had a lot of good workout partners throughout my life.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm preaching. I'm preaching here, Moose, but
it's all good. And so, yeah, it's been a long time since somebody said, "Hey, I want to learn about you." And you're right, as a business owner in my business, I'm going to people's houses or buildings, right? And saying, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And they're telling me all their hopes and dreams, what they want to do with their project or their house, right?
yeah.
So we're listening, and then we're trying to pull that in and pour into them and make that all complete for them and make them happy, right? In the background, we're destroying ourselves because no one is asking us. We're not talking about ourselves, right? And it's human nature. Every human needs to be involved. Everybody needs to be listened to, right? So somebody like you or I needs to pour into something else that fuels up our tank, okay? For you, it might be this podcast. For me, it was when I ran Wilton Parents for Youth, and I'm involved with all the little kids. Yeah. I love sports. I love being outside. And so to get off of work and switch to Aaron or Coach Moose, right, just totally refills my tank.
Yeah.
And then I can go home and maybe be in a better mood and be present with my kids. What I found, I'm pouring into everybody else, right? Still?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I do? So the best thing is playing catch. You mentioned it, right? And so you can take that a couple different ways, but playing catch with your kids is the best experience you can probably have, right? You can talk to them, you're with them, you're spending time with them. Yeah, they're going to remember maybe what you bought them. Probably not.
No, we throw away more toys than we keep.
Yeah, 100%. But they're not going to forget the time where you're in the stands watching them play. Or my dad taught me how to bat. They're never going to forget that, right?
Yeah.
And
you hope not, and,
right.
Those things stick with us, so they'll stick with them.
Yeah, just like right now, I won't forget being on the podcast with you. A good friend for a long, long time. God, I remember preschool graduation and hang out with Joe, right? Or going to the zoo and Joe running from...
Who was your very first girlfriend?
Oh, God.
Like your very first, hand holding.
I think it might have been Samantha Cole.
I remember Samantha Cole.
She moved away, but that was my very first girlfriend. I really remember saying, I have a girlfriend. That might have been first grade, second grade.
So you had a Samantha get away from you. I had a Lindsay get away from me, preschool. Her mom, Kathy, used to cut hair with Shirley.
Yeah.
Right next door here.
Yeah.
And Lutheran school.
Yep.
Graduation before we went to public school. Held hands. And then we let go.
Forever.
And so anyway, so here we are. Yeah. Yes. But back to this thing, right? Like people have been asking me, why are you doing this? What? And sometimes it's being misconstrued as a vanity project. It's like, oh, that's Joey. He likes to be on camera. He likes all the attention. That's just Joey. It's not. It's not, because I've spent years as Joe on camera, right, Katie? As Joe from Treadmill Heroes.
Yeah.
And it sucks the living life out of me.
Sure.
Because all I'm doing is pouring out all this energy to try to tell the story of the locally owned small town business Treadmill Heroes that can do everything the big guys can.
Yep.
Careful, I almost went into a commercial there. Anyway, but you pour out all this energy, and then you sit back and hope for the phone to ring and hope for the view count to go up, and it doesn't.
Right.
And it's a letdown.
Yes.
The podcast, when I can just put these on and like just have a conversation, it just fills up, like you said, like with coaching with you, it just fills up your tank, and it's like, this feels so good. Cameras be damned.
Yep.
View count be damned. Do we all want to be like a big time influencer? We think we do. Maybe we just want to just put good out into the ether.
Right.
And so to be able to sit and just like have this direct flow of energy back and forth, both people walk out feeling a lot stronger and just better in general. Like, wow, that was like a connection with that person. And that's special. And you don't get many of those these days.
No, you don't. So when it comes down to it, we start our businesses because why? Or just like starting a podcast, right? You want the viewers, you want people to like you want this and that, you want to make some money, right? And so when I started my business, like, okay, this is my ticket to financial freedom, time freedom, whatever. It doesn't go that way, right? Everybody gets stuck, and everybody gets, there's a lot of times there's ceiling on a lot of these things. So then you got to shift your thinking, and you think, okay, why am I really doing this? Well, I'm back to why I started this is because I love taking care of people. Okay, so I take care of people. Now I've been taking care of all these people. Now I'm shifting to taking care of my family, my kids, right?
Yeah.
And so lately I've dedicated a lot of my time to just my kids, and that fills up my tank now. I thought I need to be taking care of everyone's kids while coaching, right? And I love that, but I found something was still missing. When I take care of my kids, my family, that's where the real magic happens. And when you have then relationships with your friends again, right? You kind of forget why you got started. So yeah, you can get a lot of viewers, but at the end of the day, Joe, what is your real reasoning for doing that? And
If that's the reason,
Yep.
You're in the business for the wrong reason.
Correct.
And
you're going to fail.
You will fail if if you are an empty vessel, and we're going to get deep here.
Okay.
But the people that I always go back to WWE because there's a saying in WWE, the audience is very smart. And they are. Right. Like I'm a smart WWE fan. I don't look at it through like, who's going to win this match? Boy, I certainly hope so and so. No, it's like, how are they going to get to where they need to get? How are they going to tell this story? Right? There's so much thought and real passion that goes into a wrestling match. Anyway, what I'm saying is the audience is smart. The social media audience that's out there right now is getting very smart.
Correct.
They're getting smart very fast, and they're starting to not like and follow the empty vessel chick that's bouncing up and down.
Correct.
Doing nothing other than lip syncing a song.
Right.
Even the hornball male viewers are just like, okay, enough.
Right.
Like enough of that. And people are looking for real content, real context, honest conversations that they can relate to. So I think, and that's why you see all these podcasts are popping up like mushrooms right now. Everybody's got a podcast, and especially these celebrities.
Right.
They're all getting a podcast. You know why? Because they're all getting exposed for the fakeness.
Right.
And now they're scrambling. They're going, well, I can no longer be employed based on my fakeness, so I better come up with something that seems real. And a podcast is the way to go. So then I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to have conversations with Jack Black, and I'm going to talk about this, and we're going to chuckle, and we're going to have fun like we're real people, when in reality, they're not.
Right. We need to get away from fake book. That's where it's gone, right? Everything's fake. And go back to Facebook and put a name with the face and get some real stuff going on here. I didn't come here today because I'm getting anything out of this except for I get to see my friend Joe.
A conversation.
100%. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so why do you do it, right? So it fills up your tank, and you mentioned it, like a lot of people might think, oh, Joe just wants the views, Joe just wants the attention. Deep down, they don't see the other side of things of Joe. Maybe like I know a little bit more about Joe on a personal level, and you are a very passionate person about people in general, and you really care about people. And end of the day, you realize your tank is completely empty, and to keep taking care of all the people you have, of whether that's your family or your employees, right? You have to refill your tank. Otherwise, you're no good to anybody.
Yeah, I'm at a point now where it's like if I don't sit in the chair for a little bit, I get antsy.
Sure.
Well, and also, like, have Katie or Casey, have you guys ever heard me say when we talk about doing something for somebody, what do I never expect when I do something for somebody?
A thank you.
A thank you, or anything above a thank you. I expect nothing in return. I programmed my brain that years ago.
Yep.
Where if I do something for somebody, I don't expect a thank you. I don't expect an anything. That way, if anything does come, well, wasn't that pleasant?
Yes.
But if it doesn't, I wasn't expecting it. And the podcast fits right in the center of that vein. This is something I can do for someone else that I don't want anything in return.
Right.
Because you just filled my tank by me getting to just ask you things that I find are interesting.
Yep.
And if we're able to promote Treadmill Heroes along the way, well, great.
Yes.
Well, great. But you know what? Treadmill Heroes will be fine. We're going to continue to do what we do. But it's like, this is just like it's a real thing. And there again, the audience is getting smarter. They're going to they're going to gravitate towards that. And so you hear a lot of people say, well, everyone's doing a podcast right now. They are.
Yep.
But guess what? Everyone had a wrestling promotion back in the day.
Yep.
You could go to a million territories and see all kinds of different promotions. Well, guess what? Now there's 2, 3, right?
Right.
Because the audience is getting smart.
Yep.
And they want good content that feels real and is honest. And as long as all you do is come in and be real and honest, well, then you don't have to prepare anything. We don't have to come up with any funny little bits or skits or dances or any of that.
That's right. Yeah, it's being real and authentic. And with the internet, obviously things have gotten way out of whack. We don't have relationships like we used to, right? We talk differently. So I just, before I got here, I was on a job site and I checked with one of my older clients. And I mean, like, we did many projects for them many years ago. And so one of the last projects we did for them was their deck, okay? And her lights are going out a little bit. So she asked me to stop by and look at them. So I looked at them. But what really fills my tank up is that the lights are just getting to the end of their life, okay? So we're going to replace those not a problem. But when I walked out there, I said, your deck looks like brand new, like when we just left. She goes, we just love this deck, Moose. It just made us like complete. We sat here every night.
That's great.
And when my husband passed away, like I still sit out here. He just really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed you as a person, right? As another son. That makes me want to keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
And makes me want to now give into somebody else, right? Or go home and just be happy that I can enjoy my family. So it's all about humans. That's what it comes down to.
Look at us all grown up. How much time do we have left? Casey and Katie have to get out of here at 3:00.
We have to.
What time is it?
It's 2:39.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Oh, what do we talk? Can I tell them why you're leaving?
Sure.
Casey and Katie are getting matching tattoos.
Oh, that's cute.
They're not matching.
Oh, they're not matching.
No, we do have matching tattoos, yes. We're just going at the same time tonight.
Who's sticking you?
Mason, Crimson Lotus, across the street.
Cross the street?
Yep. Shop local.
Hashtag get inked locally.
Should we go?
No, I got both my tattoos before I was 18 and haven't had one since.
I got one before I was 18, and same deal. No more.
What one was it? What one's yours?
Well, I got a moose dragon on my arm.
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
the moose dragon?
Yeah, that thing's kind of dumb. That's like my tick.
That's like
on my left
like a tick on an arm,
my lucky biohazard symbol tick. Can I brag up a guest that I've got coming in next week?
Absolutely.
One that's been on my list since I first wanted to start the show. Coming in, I have to look at my phone. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. How about it's Wednesday? And yeah, so Wednesday, what time? It's on my calendar.
Afternoon, sometime.
I think it's at 2.
Probably 3.
Because I want to plug it right now.
Hold on.
I think it's at 2:00. At 3.
3 o'clock on April 30th.
Wednesday, April 30th, 3 o'clock.
Yep.
I have Paul Beatty coming in.
Okay.
And Paul is one of those people there again, another person in plain sight, another major Wilton figurehead. The whole concept of starting this thing was like strangers in plain sight, that can you name me 8 things about Paul Beatty? Right?
Right.
Right. I think,
I can't do that.
But you know who Paul Beatty is?
I do, yes.
So I talked to Paul and I go, Paul, here's the thing. I want to talk to you about really 2 things. One, I want to talk about wrestling. Like, why, when I think of wrestling, do I associate you with wrestling? Now, certainly his son, Chad, he is the top dog with the Hawkeye Wrestling Club.
Yep.
If you wrestle in the state of Iowa, you know who Chad Beatty is. And if you don't, well, then you're not really in wrestling.
Right.
So certainly I want to talk to Chad someday because he's got a lot going on. But his dad, Paul, he's coming in, and I said, Paul, I want to talk about wrestling, and I want to talk about the accident. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about Paul before, Paul during, Paul after.
Yep. Because
I want to know what it's like from Paul's point of view. Like, you've been wheelchair bound now for 25 years, probably, because it happened right when we were graduating.
Yep.
And so what's going on? And so and I want to get to know Paul Beatty as a person, though. And I want to sit in here and I don't care how long it takes. I want to walk out of that knowing exactly who this man is.
That'd be really good. I see Paul quite often because he's got a grandson same age as one of my sons. And so I always see him at sports. So he's very involved still and always see him around. But I don't feel like I could ask him those questions and talk to him like that.
It's scary.
It's
not scary. It's like it puts you on edge because it's like I feel like my job is to ask the questions everyone else is already thinking.
Sure. Yep.
And if I don't do that, then I'm doing everyone who is putting their time and faith into me to watch this thing, I'm doing them a disservice. If I don't ask the questions I already know everyone's thinking.
Right. Yep. Should be a good one. Just make sure there's no tattoos that need to happen afterwards.
Yeah. So, God, we don't want to feel rushed. Like we
Right.
we gotta hurry up and get out of here.
Yeah. Like I felt good until a little bit ago.
Now I feel rushed.
Now I feel rushed and
You know
this
what?
isn't that important.
Getting tattoos fills my tank.
By the way, we have, and I was going to say one more fills my tank, and we were going to make a montage video of just how many times we say filled my tank. I think we can now. I think I've said
sure.
filled my tank one more time. We have enough where we can make one. What kind of tattoo are you getting tonight, Katie, on top of the myriad of tattoos you already have?
So,
Like you're starting to look like Danny from Pickers.
okay.
Like maybe you should just put on a pair of bibs and like a bandana and we'll start doing videos where we just record you answering the phone and be like, "What's up, guys?"
That might fill my tank.
Every single one of my tattoos has a meaning. So tonight I am getting my maiden name tattooed in my dad's handwriting.
Just to let Curtis know you could go back to that anytime you wanted to. Like what is that like a hey, I could go back to this.
No, I
actually think that's nice.
I've always wanted to do that.
I think that's nice. All joking aside, tattoos, they're art, they're objective. there again, I think anybody who would criticize somebody for their tattoos and really mean it, we have fun, but mean it, you're criticizing art. You can't criticize art as much as you want to. Everyone, like, believe me, I've seen some statues around Iowa City where you're like, somebody spent $100,000 on that turd of a thing in the middle of nowhere, right? And they're in the Quad Cities too. Like, anyway.
But a tattoo tells a story most time, right? It has a meaning, like Katie said. Even mine, as much as you make fun of it, right? It has a meaning because it has a big part of my dad in it. He made a deal with me and whatever, and so I always remember that. I did something to achieve that.
You got to get the tattoo. That was the carrot.
Yep.
Casey, what are you going to get on top of your tattoos tonight?
I am also getting a signature. My dad's dad, we called him Bappa, and my mom just recently gave me a bunch of birthday cards from when I was like born, basically.
Okay.
And so his signature is in one of them.
Hold on here. Let me there. We can show you guys now. Right? Is this on me? Like here.
Do you want me to switch it?
Yeah, switch it over. There. Now we can.
Great.
There they are. So it's your great grandpa's signature.
No, my dad's dad, my grandpa.
Okay.
He died when I was in 6th grade, but my mom just recently gave me these birthday cards with his signature in the bottom. So it's going to say Bappa because that's what we called him.
Very cool.
Isn't that a nice thing?
It is.
Isn't that nice?
Once again, it's a story, right? It's something you can remember.
It's a story. That's it. Good for you guys. You could be a little late.
I have to work out first.
Oh, that's right. Casey started working out.
Really? Good
Yes, like lifting weights and
Yeah.
like doing the thing. And I think that's wonderful.
It is.
But then, so you're going to go work out and then come back. Moose, I have to plug something quick. I got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Yep. No problem.
Treadmill Heroes is hosting our first annual fitness garage sale.
Cool.
7 buildings in town are full of stuff, from bars to benches to random dumbbells to squat racks that are good squat racks that are just taken apart to other pieces of equipment. 7 buildings full of stuff.
Wow.
So on May 2nd and May 3rd, we've got to clear off some overburden. So we are going to be doing a sale from our garage to yours. Woo-hoo. Up to 70% off. Like, literally, we're selling the stuff at garage sale pricing because we need the room for new inventory that's coming in.
Sure.
So I decided, instead of hoarding all this stuff, and I love to hoard things, I've agreed we're going to let go. We're just going to sell the stuff. So Friday, May 2nd, Saturday, May 3rd, trucks, trailers. I'm hoping we got a lot of people that come and show up. I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday.
Cool.
From the Treadmill Hero tent outside of the pit building. We're going to have the Joe Blow going up and down in the air, and we're going to have the grill going. We're going to be playing some 90s hip hop. Like, we're going to be doing all the things. Pony rides for the kids, balloon animals, mimes, magicians, you name it. They'll be there.
That sounds like false advertising to me.
Well, I can do all of that. I can do a magic trick, and I can pretend to be a mime, and, so.
How is this going to fill your tank?
This won't. I'll be exhausted at the end of the day. But
Are you sure?
No, you know what? Because I'm going to do the podcast.
Yes.
So it's like, and so we're inviting like a ton of gym owners and all the people we've got relationships with out there. It's like, hey, come over here and rob us blind and just get this stuff out of here. And you can come on the podcast and let's talk for 10 minutes and promote your thing.
Well, but I think something else also fills your tank. You mentioned Casey working out. You've always been involved with fitness. And if you can get somebody on a piece of fitness equipment,
it is nice.
I think that fills your tank.
It is nice. The fitness industry is an interesting industry. Most people are not in it because they have a passion to getting somebody in shape. They have an ability to guide them there down one road or another, but it's up to the horse to take the drink.
Right.
And that's kind of a thing with the industry, right? It's like, that's even if you're a personal trainer, right? You can train someone to death, but if they're going to go home and take an Oreo bath, then what good's it going to do?
Right.
An Oreo bath seems really strange. Anyway, but yes, it is nice. People do use it.
Yeah.
So anyway, fitness garage sale.
Got it.
Friday and Saturday. Was there any other points of business I needed to take care of, Katie? I think we covered that.
Covered it. The 2 things.
You have to promote something. Promote something for the school, and I'll promote something for the school. That's a deal.
You bet. Sounds good. Tonight, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at the Wilton Community Center, there is a bingo night put on by the Wilton softball team. So go out. They have a taco bar. They're playing bingo. They're giving away prizes all night long. I believe there's silent auction. So anyways, it's a fundraiser for the softball team. The Wilton softball team has been very fun to watch in the last few years, and they're doing a great job. So I think they do a great job up there with all the girls. And go support your local Beaver girls.
Well, thank you for being involved. What is your role in that, right? Aren't you didn't you help kind of put all that together? Or?
I did not. I've got a girl playing junior high softball this year, and I've been a softball coach for quite a while, just at the lower levels. But yeah, so Anniston's in junior high now, and let's go on to the next thing.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Go Beavers. And speaking of Go Beavers, I've been asked to host Decision Day, which is coming up. That's on my calendar too. I don't remember, maybe May 10th. Maybe you guys can look it up quick. But so Decision Day is when every senior basically announces what they're going to do after high school.
Yeah.
And if it's join the workforce, it's celebrated. If it's go to a 4-year, it's celebrated, and they announce what school you're going to, if you're going to go to a 2-year or whatever, right?
Yep.
May 5th, Monday, May 5th.
That's not this Monday.
No.
Oh.
That's after the fitness garage sale.
Okay, it's after fitness garage sale. So Monday, May 5th, they're going to bring in the 7th and 8th grade and the whole high school into the auditorium.
Very cool.
And so they had asked if I would MC the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, but we went up there and I'm like, we're missing something here. Like, this isn't about me. And if I'm just the MC, it doesn't make sense. So Jake Fratsky he's a freshman this year. I told him, I was like, I need that kid, and I don't care what grade they're in. I need that kid that is the real entertainer here.
Sure.
I can help steer the ship.
Right.
But this is an opportunity for a real student. They should be doing this.
Yep.
And so and I looked at both Lisa Taylor, Lisa Fern now, and Sarah. I can't remember Sarah's last name. Schnepper. I was like, I need a guy or a gal. I said, I need somebody, and they both immediately said Jacob Fratsky.
Cool. Yeah.
And so he sent me a text. I've got a text. I have to text him back. Actually, here, can I have my phone? Let's call him. I didn't text him back. Let's call him.
Joe, Jacob Fratsky might be similar to what you were like in high school.
Well,
you did a lot of that.
Prayers for the school, if that's the case. Jacob texted me. Let's just call him quick, and we'll put him on the spot.
Is this an all-day thing that you're doing?
No. So there's a lot going on in a short amount of time. So we got to it's like a 45-minute long deal. Okay. No, it's not Jacob. It's Josh Fratsky. Oh my gosh. Oh. It's Josh Fratsky, the freshman, that's going to be helping us out. Let's call. Is there a Jacob Fratsky?
Yeah.
There is a Jacob. Okay, so I didn't just completely make up that name. All right, so it's Josh. Let's see if we can get Josh on the phone here. I bet no one ever answers these days.
Well, when you're calling, yeah, it's
no one
rough.
ever answers.
8:30 p.m.
Yeah. Let's see how important I am.
He's probably still in school.
Oh, yeah, it's 2:54.
It's 2:54.
Boy, it'd be very important if he answered. If he was like, "Hello,
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh.
Josh."
Hello?
Josh, Joe Braymeyer, how are you?
How are you?
Hey, did I catch you at an okay time, or are you in the middle of class?
I'm in the bathroom right now, so can I just call you back right after school?
Dude, we're live on my podcast right now. This is phenomenal. I wanted to talk to you about the thing. Do you want to say hey to anybody?
Not really. I mean, I don't know that many people.
All right. Well, listen, call me back. We're going to talk about decision day, all right?
Alrighty, sounds perfect. Thank you.
Get back to class. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, well, Josh Fratsky is going to help us out. So, well, maybe not now. Maybe he's like, dude, I want nothing to do with that guy. All right, so that'll be a fun thing, decision day, and we've got some fun things planned.
Right.
So, but those are things where it's not going to take me a ton of prep. Just give me the list. Josh is going to.
Sure.
We're gonna throw him into the deep end. We're gonna let him feel a little back sweat.
You're obviously pretty important. He answered the phone call for you.
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
During school.
During school. That's a good way to close out. Well, listen, everybody. Hey, can you play us out? Can you play us out as well? Oh, we're going to get played out. Hey, Aaron Steffens, everybody, from Moose Ridge Construction. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
You bet, Joe. Thank you. Anytime.
Well, thank you. All right. She didn't play us out. She should have played us out way over top of that.
Right,
but we're learning. It's a thing. It's a budding podcast.
It's all good.
It's just life's a dance, baby. Life's a
day.
dance.